Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is a special edition of Inspirational Interviews. I am here with Nagina Abdullah. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Hannah?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing so well and excited to talk with you.
Yes, I'm really excited to talk with you. We have kind of been um, dancing around each other for a while, but now we're actually having a conversation, which is super, super exciting. So you're a health coach for women professionals, and you work a lot with weight loss, but also just with people understanding themselves and learning to read their body's signals and everything. Before we jump into your topic today, which is focusing on crushing sugar cravings, I'd love to hear a little bit about you and just your story of how you came to be doing this work and what your path has been.
Oh, thanks so much. Yes, well, I was somebody that had struggled with my sugar cravings for my entire life. I had struggled with my desire to eat a lot, and also just with my body. I had tried to be on every single diet that was available, from Weight Watchers to Atkins to South Beach. I was just always having this relationship with food where it was a yo-yo, and I was going up and down trying to follow diets so that I could feel good about myself and have the look that I wanted. And it never got me, somewhere permanently. I was always going up and down. And so what happened is that I started working in a very demanding job, traveling 60 plus hours a week. And then I had my first child and then my second child shortly after. And as you probably happens, I was at a very high weight, and I didn't feel good on my body. Like, I felt really uncomfortable. And so I started looking at my life and started thinking, how am I going to keep going when I don't feel good about myself, when I don't have energy to take my kids outside, when I can't fit into any of the clothes in my closet, and I just don't feel that confidence? And I realized that I couldn't go back to going on diets and going up and down. It never worked for me. And so I started utilizing my background. I have a degree in molecular and cell biology from UC Berkeley. And so I started using the knowledge from that degree and doing scientific research. And I started realizing that there was foods that I could add to my diet that would boost my metabolism instead of me having to restrict myself and feel starving all the time. And then I also realized that I was like, I want to make this fun, because if it's fun, if I like what I'm eating, then I'm going to be able to keep it up, and this can't be dreadful. So I started utilizing that advice. I started adding metabolism boosting ingredients and spices. And what happened is that I lost 40 pounds in 9 months, and it came off so quickly. I couldn't believe it. And I had 20 pounds to get to my pre-pregnancy weight. And then I went 20 more, and it felt so easy and normal and just like healthy. And so that's how I got started. After I had that massive weight loss, I had so much energy to play with my kids. I would run to the beach, and I wouldn't think about myself. I would think about them. And I started running more. I started exercising more. I created my own business because I had so much energy. And now it's my full-time business, and I help other women who are interested in getting to the best shape of their life and feeling good. I give them the guidelines on how to do that when they have a busy life, and I give them the shortcuts and the personalization so that they know how to apply these, because food is 80% of where our weight management and taking care of ourselves physically. It's what you eat. So it's like, if there's one place to focus on, that's the place. And that's what I coach women on.
Awesome. Yeah. And that aligns so well with Ayurveda, which is what I teach, and the understanding how and your business masala, that word masala is a mixture, right? It's that there's different pieces that come together to make a tasty dish or a unique whole. And so it's very powerful. And so those pieces of understanding, it's not just food, not all food is created equal, that you need certain foods to help you. And and we look at this too in Ayurveda in terms of a unique constitution as well, and like who are you and what you need uniquely. And so for you, this relationship with sugar, and I know many of my viewers can relate to this, it can feel out of control. It's like we are not actually choosing. It feels like a compulsion, like we have to have sugar. And so, yeah, so talk to us a little bit about sugar in general, just like why is it an issue?
Oh my gosh, such a great question. Such a great way to like to move into this conversation, because sugar is, it really is. It's something that we love. It's something that we enjoy. It's part of our lives. I mean, there at every single birthday, there's usually a cake, or we were taken to ice cream when we did well, and it was just so ingrained, and it's part of our culture, part of holidays, that it's hard to say. It's hard to have rules about you're not allowed to eat so many things that you grew up loving and that are part of your life. And so, so this relationship with sugar, it's the thing about it that's so uncomfortable, is that it can feel very controlling, and it can control us. And so, I always like to say that you can still enjoy sugar, but you don't have to let it control you. You can control it. So you can choose it. Like, you don't have to be controlled by it. You can choose sugar. And so
Mhm.
I have this story, I'd love to share, which is like, I used to live next to this bakery. It was the best bakery in my town. And I would be working from home, and they had the most amazing chocolate croissants. And so every day at 2 p.m., there's like that sugar crash. And you sometimes are like, what can I get my hands on to get me up and to get me going again? And I would always smell those delicious chocolate croissants right next to me. And I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. Should I go over there? And what happened is that I started realizing, like, I wanted it, but I didn't want to get into a habit of going there every day. So I created a tradition where on Saturday mornings, our family would go to the bakery. We'd pick out whatever we wanted. I would get my chocolate croissant, and I would enjoy it on Saturday mornings. And then I would move on to the rest of the foods that I love, which are like fresh, whole, real foods. And so I look forward to it, but I choose it. It's not choosing me. And I had to make that decision to not create a habit, and to create a healthy lifestyle where I have a little bit of it, but I don't have it all the time. And that's really the components of how you can let sugar into your life, and how you can enjoy it without letting it take over, and it can actually add to your life. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so important. We talk a lot about like the 80-20 rule in terms of like do what will get you the results 80% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, maybe. And then have those moments where it's like, yeah, you have the piece of cake at your friend's birthday party, or you have the, you know, treat at brunch or whatever, but it's not what you're doing every day. Right?
exactly,
It's not what's creating your cellular tissue. Right?
exactly. You allow yourself that without feeling guilty, because you
Right.
say, this is part of my lifestyle. I'm healthy 80, like you said, 80-90% of the time. I don't have to be perfect. It's not about being
Right.
perfect. It's about just choosing your purpose, which is really to feel good and to be as healthy as you want to be, and to have the lifestyle that you want. So you're making a choice, and you're not being perfect.
Right. Yeah. So you have 3 easy steps to help folks squash sugar cravings. Give us the first step.
Oh,
What
I'm
is the first
so
step?
excited to share these. These are really things I've been working on for so long, and I've worked with so many people to really perfect these 3 steps, to these 3 ways that you can squash your sugar cravings. And so the first one I'm going to share is something so simple and so easy that you can do. It's using something that you most likely have in your cabinet, at home, like your kitchen cabinet, and that is to add this sweet spice, which is called cinnamon, to your coffee or tea in the morning. And doing something as simple as adding cinnamon, what it does is that instead of using sugar, or as much sugar, you use less sugar or no sugar. You still get that sweet flavor from cinnamon, but while sugar will spike your insulin, and what that means is that sugar will cause insulin to be released, and then the sugar will be drawn out of the blood and stored as fat. And so instead of having this fat storage process going on, you're having cinnamon, which does not spike your insulin, but it still gives you that really nice sweet flavor. And so you're actually lowering your fat storage. And so this is one of the first things that I started doing when I went on my 40-pound weight loss journey, which was just to do something that tasted good, that made it easy for me to switch to something else that was better, but still get that sweet taste. And now where it's taken me is that I don't really have like, I don't have an addiction for sugar. I'm not thinking about sugar, whereas I used to always think about it, because whenever you have some sugar, it causes you to want more sugar. So it's really about like taking it out and replacing it with things that are healthier. So cinnamon in your coffee or tea. You can do it on in your smoothie if you don't have coffee or tea. You can do it on your fruit in the morning, because it lowers your blood sugar, and so it really causes that less fat storage. So that's the first one.
Excellent. Number one.
Yes. Yep.
Choose
Yep.
cinnamon.
Yes,
Okay.
cinnamon, absolutely something you probably already have. Okay, and so the second strategy to squash sugar cravings is to follow what I call the tested and perfected fat burning food framework. And so now what this is, I'm going to break it down. There's 4 elements of it. It's really, really important to just know what these 4 elements are so you can combine them. But what's happening is that when you often have sugar cravings, you will not when you have sugar cravings, it's a result of you not actually having the right nutrition from the rest of the day. It's because you're not giving yourself the right food proactively, so you're not preventing sugar cravings. Now, if you've ever had a very satisfying meal that doesn't even have any sugar in it, and you felt full and satisfied for 4 or 5 hours, imagine if you're doing that every day. Like, you're eating the right foods and you're combining them in the right way, where you're absolutely loving what you're eating and you're feeling satisfied, and you don't even have the cravings. And so that's one of the ways, like 80 to 90% of sugar cravings can be destroyed by eating real whole foods that are keeping you full. And this framework that I'll walk you through, it shows you exactly how to do that. And so then the rest of the cravings that are still there may be like 10%, 15% cravings still left. Those are largely based on emotional cravings, or cravings for like that we use because we have associations with food that are things like, because maybe you're bored, or maybe you want comfort, or maybe, you want to feel excited. And so those are those remaining, but almost 90%, 80-90% of your cravings can be just squashed from eating the right way that keeps you balanced. And so then you're solving most of that problem. And then you can work on the other thing, which takes a little longer. So this framework, the tested and perfected fat burning food framework, I'll walk you through that. So what it is that at every single meal, you're having 40 to 50% of your plate is protein, and 40 to 50% of your plate is veggies. So that's the first piece, is that you're just really like cleaning it out, making it simple and forward and straightforward is like protein and then veggies. And at breakfast, you can have low sugar fruit. So what that means is protein, like if you eat meat, then it's any kind of meat. If you eat fish, it's fish. If you are vegetarian and you have dairy, then it's things like Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. If you're vegan and you don't eat dairy, then it's like tofu. It's also things like hemp seed, flaxseed, beans and lentils. Those are a lot of the really great proteins. Then you have the veggies. And I always advise on veggies to have, to use metabolism boosting spices, because the reason that many people don't eat veggies is because it doesn't taste good. And so when you can use flavorful spices that also boost your metabolism, you are really burning your fat. You're activating, you're really, taking what you're eating and supercharging it. And so, and it tastes good. So putting spices like cumin, coriander, if you like chili powder, using like a cayenne pepper or a paprika is much milder if you want to start somewhere a little bit lower. And then some sea salt and black pepper. That's a really great mix to start with. Or buying like lemon pepper, which is already mixed and has a lot of really great benefits. And so these spices speed up your metabolism, they curb your appetite, and they make your veggies taste good. And so you do veggies, protein. We're always making things taste good. That's why my business is called Masala Body, because it's a blend of spices that makes it feel really good. And then also in the mornings and in every meal, you either have a healthy carb or a healthy fat. And that's to keep you full and satiated. So a healthy carb are things like coconut oil, nuts, half an avocado. Some things double as proteins and fats, which are eggs, salmon, beef, etc. And so those are healthy fats, and then healthy carbs are beans, lentils, Ezekiel bread, and a food that I call slimming grains, which are things like millet and buckwheat. They're high fiber grains that replace rice, and they don't elevate your blood sugar as much. So so I gave you some basic categories and I gave you the major foods in them. If you can put them together, like protein and veggies is 40 to 50% of your plate, and the rest is either a healthy fat or either a healthy carb, you will squash 90% of your sugar cravings because you're so satisfied and you're eating whole real foods. And then it is called the fat melting framework, the fat burning framework, for a reason, because it works like that. And then you also don't have sugar cravings, and it boosts your metabolism. So that is that's a structured kind of, you're preempting your sugar cravings, and it's something that I am diligent about every day. And my cravings really aren't there except for if I miss a meal by mistake. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's
I love hearing you talk about this. It's very aligned with Ayurveda, except it's a different language. So like we talk about augmenting and extracting foods. So like the grains that you mentioned are extracting grain, they're drying grains. They're not augmenting, they're not building tissues. They help kind of dry out the tissue. Anyway, it's the energetics of the foods.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to like hear you talking about this, and it's very, very aligned with what I teach, and yet it's in a different language. So
yeah, wow,
it's very cool.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm going to be excited to learn about that from you. When we do another, we switch it around in a little bit, and yeah, that sounds. I hear what you're saying. Wow, I'd love to hear more about that. How it can be a different language. Yeah.
It's really cool. And we talk about the 6 tastes and how we need all 6 tastes in each meal to feel satiated. So you're saying like you don't need sugar in a meal, but you can get the sweet taste with these, carbs or fats, these other ways that actually have a sweetness to our bodies that doesn't require sugar. And then we feel satiated. And it's so powerful. Yeah. So what is the third tip?
So the third one is my favorite one. It's the most fun one. And that is where you get a really great way to squash sugar cravings is to make healthier substitutes of the sweets that you're craving, because it's really challenging to say like, if you love brownies, I'm not going to have brownies, I'm not going to have chocolate chip cookies. And you probably can do that for a while, but sometimes you may just really crave it. And a really great way to get started and to transition over to not craving sugar at all is to start with creating a healthier substitute. And so I actually have 3 recipes I'd love to just walk through and share with you about. Sure. These are actually so exciting because they are chocolate recipes, but they're so healthy. And a lot of times, we know that our clients, they crave chocolate a lot. And so we found this powder, the cacao powder, which is much healthier. It's low sugar. It's kind of a healthier version of cocoa. And so anywhere you use cocoa, you can use cacao. And so I have a recipe that I created. It's called hot cacao. So at night, if you're craving something, even though we're going into the summer, sometimes you could feel like something at night that you want to just sip on. And often we may be having something sugary, we may be having alcohol. It's good to have another alternative that feels soothing and comforting at night. And so hot cacao, you do 2 tablespoons of cacao powder, 16 ounces of hot water. You do need a sweetener because it is very bitter. And so the best sweetener is cinnamon, as I mentioned in the beginning. But another sweetener that's a little sweeter is monk fruit. And it's a natural sweetener. It actually keeps your blood sugar stable. It doesn't elevate it like sugar does, but it doesn't bring it down like cinnamon does. So it's not as good as cinnamon, but it's still very good. And then there's other natural sweeteners like maple syrup or agave, which are better than sugar, but they do spike your insulin, spike your glycemic levels. So they are not as good for fat loss. So those are some options. And then you could use a 1/4 cup milk in it, which is like coconut milk, almond milk, if you want to use regular milk, you can do that. So you just combine that. So that's super easy. And then I would love to share, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. It's called, it's a replacement for brownies. It's called brownies. And it's brownies because it's raw. So what you do is you get 2 cups walnuts, 2 cups pitted dates, which give it a sweetness that's really nice, a half cup raw cacao powder, and then 1 tablespoon vanilla extract. And so you basically, you really just put everything into a food processor. You add the dates towards the end, and then you process it and you put it in a brownie mold in 8x8 and freeze it for 1 to 2 hours. And then you have these brownies. So, imagine if you're craving chocolate or ice cream at night, and then you had made this and it has walnuts and it has dates, which are natural. They and walnuts are healthy fats. Dates are sweet, but they're not bad. Like they're pretty good they move right through your body. And then you have cacao powder to flavor it up. So that's it. That's one. And then I'm going to do one. I can do one more. And then Hannah, I would love to hear which one sounds like good to you. Which one you think would be tasty for you. Okay. So the final one I want to share is a smoothie. And sometimes doing a smoothie is really easy for a snack in the middle of the day because it keeps you full, but it also is boosting your protein levels because you can add protein in it, or it's putting healthy fat. So it's making you feel full, but it's tasty. So the one that I want to share is a chocolate almond snack smoothie. And this one put this all in your blender all at once, 1 cup water, 2 to 3 dates, 1 tablespoon ground flax seeds, or you can use chia seeds, 1 tablespoon cacao powder. Then you want to add in 2 tablespoons almond butter. You can do 1 to 2 cups of fresh or frozen spinach because that's really adds your greens to it and you don't even taste it with everything else that's in there. And then you can put some ice in there and then you just blend it around and it's a chocolate almond smoothie. You have healthy fats. You have veggies, you have a chocolate flavor, you have nice sweeteners with the dates, and it's like a great afternoon snack. Instead of if you're craving something sweet, you imagine just having that as a replacement. It's so easy to get through the day, and you love what you're eating. So yeah,
those all sound.
Yeah,
those sound very tasty. Yeah. Yeah, I think my favorite would be the brownies.
Oh, awesome. That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we use dates a lot. That's definitely one of the big things that helped me get off of sugar altogether was being able to have dates.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's very good. Yeah. So just to sum it up, the three strategies to squash your sugar cravings. The first one is add cinnamon to your morning tea, coffee, fruit, whatever it may be. Number 2, follow the fat burning food framework so that you can preempt and you can really make sure that you're getting ahead of sugar cravings so they don't even come. Imagine living a life where you're not even fighting sugar cravings because they're not even there. Well, that's what happens with the fat burning food framework. And then I shared 3 recipes that are good, healthy replacements to cravings. And that's another way to really squash your sugar cravings is to find healthy replacements like the chocolate ones that we talked about or anything else. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's such great delivery of content for all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
so awesome.
Hannah.
Yeah. So tell people where they can find you if they want to learn more about what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks so much. Well, I have a website, masalabody.com, and I have a special free gift for you when you come over there, which is my recipes called 7 Spicy Recipes to Melt Away Your First 7 Pounds. And they include 7 delicious recipes, including vegetarian, which have spices that are boosting your metabolism. Also, the foods are really family friendly and easy to make. And I just have some favorites in there. So once you sign up for that, then I'll send you an email with a couple other great bonuses, like a free training that you can watch about how to apply these principles to your life. And so you can find that at masalabody.com. Head over there and I'll send you over my 7 spicy recipes to melt away your first 7 pounds right away. And then I'll get in touch with you more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will post that with this interview. We'll post the link for your website. Thank you so much, Nagina, for coming on here. It's so wonderful to connect with you. And thank you for sharing so much wisdom with us today.
Thanks, Hannah. I loved being here.
Yay. We'll talk
Okay.
again soon.
I'll
Thanks,
see you
everyone.
soon. Bye.
Bye.